If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
Nope, actually don't buy our merch. So in the description of this video, you're going to find a link to a baby registry. We have a friend of ours, a family member from the village, is having a baby, and you know we support life here, and we hope you do too. And if you're interested in doing that, don't buy any of our merch. Leave those skulls there. We're supporting life today. So if you can click the link in the description of the video, and you'll be able to get right to the registry and help out with whatever way you can. And don't worry if you're like, I literally only have $5. What can I get for $5? They have options where you can send them a $5 coupon for diapers or whatever. So all those options are available to you.
Yes, dear listener. Speaking of which, that's a transition, but there's really no speaking of which. Speaking of which, we have a band for you. You might be interested in hearing. They go by the name of Linkin. The name of the song is Breaking the Habit. And let's do it.
Wait, this is the winning song for their normal genres week, nominated by Jose Indigo.
All right, let's do it. The video's kind of weird for Linkin Park, but okay.
It's a fan video.
Memories come soon, like opening the wounds. I'm picking me apart again. Safer in my room, unless I try to start again. I don't want to be the one the battles always choose, 'cause inside I realize that I'm the one confused. I don't know what's worth fighting for, or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate and say what I don't mean. I don't know how I got this way, I know it's not alright, so I'm breaking the habits. I'm breaking the habits tonight.
Wow.
That's rough, man.
Wait, what's rough? I'm missing something.
Well, I mean, he killed himself. This is Chester. It's Linkin Park. So, like, some of the lyrics are they're very empowering,
Yeah.
but you know,
Damn. Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
it's tough to for whatever reason.
It's a really good song, though. Like, I can see somebody said right before the song started, like, yet another song that helped me.
That saved my life.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. To save
That's
my
what he
life.
said.
I didn't want to be so
Saved-
extreme, but I'm pretty
saved
sure
his
that's,
life.
yeah. So, you know, I could totally see, you know, that really. See, that's the thing with art, you know, when they put it out there for you so that way you can experience it and feel it with them to the degree that you could be helped by their music, but then they weren't helped by their own music, you know, and it seemed like he was trying to, that's pretty painful. That's pretty sad. But I know I'm not going to focus on that side of it. You're welcome to do so. I want to focus on what, you know, the song. I really thought that memories consume like opening the wound. I'm picking me apart again. You all assume I'm safe here in my room unless I try to start again. One thing, here's a funny little story. So I was very depressed growing up, but I hid it pretty well. And my parents were very strict, as you guys know. And you couldn't have anything. Okay, you know, like the celestial sun, like it's in a lot of like new age stuff. I just loved the way that sun was. To me, it communicated. I love the sun anyway. Like, honestly, if if there was no such thing as our gods and like there was all the different gods that you could just pick which one you wanted to worship, I'd probably be a sun worshiper because I really like the sun.
But you are a sun worshiper.
Yes. So those suns and all that stuff, like any of that stuff that could even be perceived as new age, was like completely off limits. So I decided, like my friend, I was talking to my friend about it. She's like, you're really depressed and you shouldn't have to live like under all those rules that your parents are doing. She's like, you can either come live with me or you can paint your entire room black and lay in your bed. And I thought to myself, ooh, that sounds like a horrible plan. I don't think that would work the way I think it would. Secondly, I couldn't bear being in the black room with the shades drawn. Like, that was just too much for me.
That would have been heaven for me back in the day.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. She's like, I'm telling you, it'll work. But instead, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do my version of that. So I got a bunch of markers and I drew all over my walls. Like, my parents, they were so strict. This was like like, I thought they're going to come unglued. And I couldn't wait for it because I locked that door and I mean, the sun, it was bigger than this wall, like behind us. It took up the entire wall. And I wrote some stuff beside it because I loved quotes. I got a bunch of quotes. I put quotes all over my wall. Honestly, if I walked in and my kid had done that, I would be actually extremely happy because there was a lot of hope, like, even though, but they didn't really know where I was. I don't, like, as far as like emotionally. My mom kind of had an idea. Well, anyway, so I painted this all over the walls and I thought for sure that they were going to like, my dad never said a word about it. Not one single word. And then my mother went out and bought me a blanket with that sun on it. I was like, that didn't work at all like I thought. Now she's supporting it?
Well, maybe they weren't as restrictive as you assumed.
No. Oh, my father was not happy about it. I knew that.
But he didn't say anything to you.
But I'm sure my mother said, babe, you got to just let this go. You know,
You better let this one go.
just let this one go. So that was kind of like when he said, you'll all assume I'm safe here in my room. That was, you know, I'd go to my room and I was having like a really hard time or whatever. And that was, you know, I concocted a number of plans for, you know, the ending of my life in my room. And so I wasn't safe necessarily because I was in my room because I was alone and I was thinking. But, you know, I'm still here.
Mashallah.
So, yeah, so I really like this song because he says, I don't know what's worth fighting for or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate and say what I don't mean. And what did you get from that part of it?
I think, you know, when you're in a depressed state, some people, they you know, there was a guy in here and I knew he wasn't going to last very long.
In the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of times people misinterpret depression for aggression. And so a lot of times depressed people will create conflicts with people, especially if they have a comorbidity of, let's say, a borderline personality disorder, for example, which normally comes with some sort of depressive
Yep.
byproduct or comorbidity.
Yeah.
And they'll instigate problems with people. They'll start fights with people. They'll do all that to maintain isolation because they've gone through a cycle of isolation. They keep losing people, whatever. You see this a lot with adopted kids, foster kids.
This is interesting.
Because they're so used to losing people.
This is new information.
They're so used to losing people and being isolated that they get depressed and then they feel isolated. And then people will try to enter into their world to get them out and they will react against it. And so they'll create problems and conflicts with people so that they can remain alone. So that because the up and down of maintaining relation, like I've got one person in my life where it takes a lot of energy to maintain the relation, and it's not the person you're thinking about. It just takes so much energy to maintain the relationship, so I just avoid him. And when I have enough, I mean, now I realize what's happening, so I just avoid him. But before, I would have just lashed out at him. Once a year we talk, whatever, not just like lash out at him because I'm. But yeah, sometimes that happens, and if you can look past it and be there for that person, I'm not gonna say it's gonna help, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't know what's worth fighting for or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate it and say what I don't mean. I don't know how I got this way. I know it's not all right, so I'm breaking the habit. I'm breaking the habit tonight. And that could be a good statement, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good statement either. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, Vin. Now I know why you avoid me. BS. Clutching my cure, I tightly lock the door. I try to catch my breath again. I hurt much more than any time before. I had no options left again. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So when he was singing this, I kept going back and forth with like, is this an empowering song? Or because if he's saying like he's clutching, where did it say
cure.
that? His cure, right. And then he said, I'm breaking the habit tonight. I'm breaking the habit tonight. Like, a lot of times people will say stuff like, I'm going to try to, because they failed so many times before that to say, this is happening tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so I did feel a little bit uncomfortable with that language only because I was like, well, how does he figure he's going to get cured? Like, because what cures happen overnight?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
It helped a lot of people. He says, I'll paint it on the walls because I'm the one at fault. I'll never fight again. This is how it ends.
Right.
So it's also tough for the bandmates, right? Because
this is 2003.
Then it's like, I know exactly, probably, having gone through this twice now with people close to me, like, they say things, mm-hmm. and the thing is, they say things for years, especially as an artist. So it's like, he died alone in his room.
Yeah.
At night, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even know, like, there's so many songs where it's like, can the band even do this song? Mm-hmm. And how did we miss this? And blah, 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 blah. It's just the older that I get, though, especially considering those two individuals, I especially the first one. The first one was out of nowhere. The first one was like completely out of nowhere. And there are a lot of signs that I missed, and this person was like a mother figure. You know what I'm saying? So you're not necessarily in help mode. I'm usually in help mode with people, but I wasn't in this particular situation because she was kind of the mother figure to us, and then she kept sending off all of her packages and pictures from her daughter and all this, and it's like, because she said she was moving. I was like, oh, she's moving. That's why. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, you unpack the shit. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, how did you miss that? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was too caught up in the drama that I was going through with her daughter to like. To be honest with you, like that's like one of those things. Like, I don't think I'll ever forgive her. For
I was literally thinking that. I was like, that's still very. Yep.
Like, why couldn't you just like chill with the drama while your mom was sending all this shit? But at the same time, like, I don't know. It's just a miss, man. I just missed it. It's unbelievable, but it's a crazy situation. But it was one of those. I was like, yeah, I don't know. But it's so I don't even know how that band, you know, I don't even know how that band does some of those songs.
Yeah.
But you know, lines like that are probably going to be all through their catalog. So what do you do in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough. But at the same time, that song has saved so many people's lives. So how do you not do that song? Because it's got to be one of people's favorite songs. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do it. And I think if you could psychologically reconcile, you know, hey, it's going to hurt us, but it's going to help other people. And that's what Chester wanted to do. And that's ultimately his legacy. Then obviously, then, you know, you do it. So it's a tough situation. Like I say, anytime a song like this comes up or a person like this comes up, is that you just don't think about living on. You know, just think about living, just doing the next second. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't think, oh, I got to live. Because I used to have these thoughts like, I got to live another 40, 50 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to live another 50 years. You just have to live to today. Just get to today. And then tomorrow, don't think about 50 years. You just have to finish tomorrow. And if tomorrow's too big, you just have to live for another hour. And then just live another hour. Just break shit down into consumable portions until you can get the help that you need. And I think that's an especially important message even now with all, you know, I've been saying a lot of the downside of the COVID safety precautions is the isolation. You know, I had one of my good friends on the channel. I don't know if he's still here, but his girl's in a particular situation with COVID. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh God, Davey.
Yeah, Daddy. That's why.
Sorry to hear that, Davey.
That's why. Yeah, Davey. I hear you. I hear you, bro. It's a hard thing to deal with. Unfortunately, people in that profession, it's even more difficult for them, you know, because they had a very, very unique experience that not many people can relate to unless they actively get themselves into environments with other people who shared those experiences.
So, Davey, take care of yourself too.
Yeah. And the other thing is that when that happens, it increases the likelihood that the people around them will do it. So
right.
Chris Cornell had done it like a year prior, I think.
That's
and
right.
then
Chester.
And Chester didn't last very long after that. And so all those situations are not good. So what I will say to my friend who has the situation with the loved one and the COVID and the situation is that meds are not the be-all, end-all solution. You've got to have a multi-pronged support solution. I can tell you, though, and Soraya can back this up, that, you know, there's been a subliminal sort of theme throughout the songs with a certain person in our lives. And I think Tasco, if you hit me up on text later, I mean, I can delve into way more detail about it. But I will say that she's got a counselor, like a personal professional counselor. Then she's got a 12-step group. It's a religious 12-step group, but it's the same thing. And she has her meds. Mm-hmm. And all three of those are in equal measure important. But the meds were really the baseline of getting her to the point where the other forms of help actually helped her.
Us too. We are part of that forms of support and help. We are, babe.
Yeah, oddly enough, we're also part of that support system, which I'm sure if me and you have a text conversation, you'll see why that's an extremely odd arrangement. But she's different for herself.
Yeah.
The effects she's had on other people, not so much. But there's a noticeable difference.
It seems there's more recognition, though.
Yes.
I know that we're not there, but it does feel like that we're a little bit closer to being able to hold on to some hope that it won't always be that.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is it's not really we can't fix anybody. I don't know, where everybody is.
Yeah, River.
I don't know where everybody is, but it's not our job to fix our friends. And I don't think necessarily our friends want to be fixed by us in the first place. Mm-hmm. They want to be supported. They want to be surrounded by love. And I know that sounds corny, but it is what it is. But I don't necessarily, like when I was in the depths of hell, my mom was there and she didn't fix me, and I didn't want her to fix me. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I could be fixed.
Yeah.
And to a degree, some things can't be fixed in this life, but, and I would just be honest with her and say, I can't fix you. I'm going to help you. We're going to get through this. Inshallah, she'll let you talk to the doctors. And, I think the medical route is the first place to go, understanding that it's the first place to go. Mm-hmm. It's not the first and last place to go. It's the first place to go, in my opinion. And then get her around some community and find some ways to support her. I don't know what the mandates are at your place, but it is something that we all need to think about when we think about these mandates. Human beings do horrible in isolation, and so does God, by the way. That's why he's a Trinity. But that's a different subject. Obviously, a silent count from me. Really, really good song. Rest in peace to Chester. Rest in peace to Chris Cornell. Rest in peace to Kurt Cobain. And all these guys who really, before they left, saved a lot of people. And so we commend them to a merciful, just, and loving God. Okay, what do you got?
So apparently Amy of Evanescence wrote a song called Imperfection about Chester's death for all the fans who were grappling with similar emotional issues. That's really commendable. I think that's, so I had an honorary mention to her for doing that. I hope that sometime somebody requests that song, because I'll definitely like to hear that.
She's a goat.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that, some support within the community. Okay, so for me, this one would have, I think, silent count because of the sacredness of the story and where it went, and those suffering and Davy's friend. And so silent count definitely, but very, very, it was a really good song, and I really liked what they did with it. I was enjoying it a bunch, and I appreciate if you look at the song positively, I think that it has a good message. Okay, I'm gonna overcome this. Not to kind of get drowned in hopelessness.
Yeah.
So silent count for both of us, and shout out to Sin and Glory for this pick, guys. Don't forget we have a baby registry for a friend of ours if anybody is interested in.
That's what that thing is down there.
Yeah, and the link is in the description of this video, and it's also in the chat right now.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's it really is.
Song. And I think that it would have been completely different if Chester was still with us. You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
But it's okay.
Because he's not, you start second guessing and you start relooking, and you go, I wonder what that meant. It's
right. Or assuming you know what this or this meant, which it could have meant something complete. That's the other thing about writing music, is sometimes the meaning of the song actually evolves with your life.
Yep.
So there you go. But there you go. All right, boys. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.